Hello and welcome to Marketing Solutions for Local Law Firms, the podcast that provides you with all the latest digital marketing tools, tips, and strategies you will need to implement in order to stay ahead of your competition. If you are looking to substantially increase your caseload in the next 6 months, this is the podcast for you. And now, here's the host of our show, the local business guy himself, Frank Deming.
Hello, everyone. This is Frank Deming, the local business guy. Welcome to another episode of Marketing Solutions for Local Law Firms. Happy Wednesday. Happy hump day, everyone. I hope you guys are having a rockin' week thus far. First of all, before I get started with today's episode, I want to wish everyone happy holidays. I don't know what is it that you celebrate this time of year, but whatever that is, I want you to celebrate it to the fullest and be safe out there. Celebrate with your family, with your loved ones, good friends, etc., etc. Just be happy. I mean, this is the end of another great year. We're coming towards the end anyway. So just be mindful of others. And I always say give back. This is a great time to think of people who are less fortunate than us and give. But anyway, enough of that. Just happy holidays. Wanted to tell you that before I actually started to give today's content. Today, I want to talk to you about content marketing. Speaking of content, because here's the deal. We're coming towards the end of the year. Well, we're on the end of the year, obviously. And content marketing, although it's a very, very good source of leads, and I'm going to get into why in a few minutes. It's not the fastest thing in the world, unfortunately, in terms of getting it going, especially if you're in a very competitive niche. So, like, for instance, family law is a very competitive niche, depending on where you are. If you're in New York City, here in New Jersey where I am, places like that, Dallas, Texas, Miami, of course, family law is very competitive. Those are all very competitive areas. The more rural parts, I don't know. You guys would have to tell me how that is, because most of my clients are in those heavily saturated areas. And I can tell you, it's very competitive. And when it's competitive like that, you need a content marketing strategy. Now, a content marketing strategy is a long-term strategy in those places, like what I just mentioned. And I would argue, I don't know more about the more rural places, but I would assume it's probably not even as needed in those rural places as it is in highly populated areas, because we're dealing with an educated consumer base. People like to educate themselves before they go with an attorney, and before they go and hire. And the best way of giving them education about who you are and to see if you're the right fit for them, and vice versa, is for providing them with content that resonates with them or answers a question that they've been looking for. I've given this resource many times over, but if people always ask, well, how do you know what they're looking for? AnswerThePublic.com will give you those types of content ideas of what you should be providing. And so on and so forth. But people will, as long as you can resonate with the person that's seeking you, you're golden. It's a, as they say, a slam dunk. Okay. But it's not the fastest thing, which is why, I know we're in the end of the year, but I wanted to talk to you about it now so we can hit the ground running in 2024. That's very important that we start doing this stuff now. Actually, you should have been doing it back in October, but let's not talk about that right now because I know I've mentioned it probably back in October. I've mentioned it a lot. But if you haven't yet, it's never a bad time to start. Okay? Especially when a long-term thing. A lot of attorneys have short-term marketing plans. LSAs, pay-per-click marketing, things like that. And that's great. Those work phenomenal. As a matter of fact, I love those strategies. But it's better in conjunction with something like content marketing. Okay. As you guys know, I love stats. I really do love stats. And I'm going to give you some stats here as to why content marketing is important. Okay. 84% of law firms right now are generating leads through an organic social media traffic. And I'm not talking about paid traffic. I'm talking about organic social media traffic. Social media is a way of content marketing, okay? Especially organic. Now, 38% of people use the internet to find an attorney. So if you're generating 84% of law firms generating leads through organic, they're getting educated. 38% of them are getting educated through social media. And they're using social media to find them. So that's amazing. And that's just social media. I'm not even talking about other means of getting the traffic. So that's one of the reasons why. Now let's talk about what we want to do in terms of content marketing and how it works. Okay, for an attorney, really for anyone, but this is a show about attorneys. Okay, and we have to educate people because again, we're dealing with a consumer base that wants the education first. So we got to give them what they're looking for. Okay. So we first have to create a plan. This is what I call the content marketing cycle. Okay. We first have to create a plan. What that plan should entail is what content am I going to provide? And again, what content? You should go to answerthepublic.com, get to see what your audience is asking, and produce content around that. So step 2 is create. You want to create the content.
We'll be back after a quick break.
Hey guys, I hope you guys are enjoying today's content. While I have you on here, I want to introduce you to a promo that we have going on for the spring of 2024 for all legal practices throughout the U.S. I have an outstanding offer that we've never been able to offer before, but we want to do it because you have been an avid listener. We're only promoting this to people who listen to the show. So if you're an attorney and you are an avid listener to the show and you're thinking about possibly opening your own practice, you want to pay attention to this announcement. We are offering a full website with hosting, SSL certificate, online booking service, online appointment management, and more, and much, much more, with a 1-year maintenance, all for $2,250. That's $2,250 one-time fee, and you have a full-fledged website. If you want to know more about this, just give us a call at 888-416-7752 or send us an email at info@lbmsllc.com. Just make sure that you mentioned that you heard it on the show, and we'll definitely get you that discount. So with that, I'm going to bring you back to the content. And in the content that you create, always have a call to action. Always. I cannot tell you how many blog posts and even videos for that matter that I've seen from attorneys that do not have a call to action. It's like an assumption that people see the information and then there's no call to action. It's proven that, now some people will call anyway, but it's proven, and this is another statistic, that if you include a call to action in every one of your content pieces, it increases your conversion by 12%. Now, I know 12% isn't a lot, right? Considering. But still, you get 12% more people reaching out to you than if you don't have a call to action. That's significant. So after you plan and you create, you want to share. And this is where that that social media happens, where it's organic. You can boost posts and all that kind of stuff, but this is if you have the right hashtags, if you will, it will happen organically. Again, it's not quick. This strategy is not quick. Another way of distributing that sharing is not just on social media, it's also in your newsletter. Oh, by the way, I forgot to tell you. If you're an attorney, have a newsletter. Okay? Have a newsletter because you want to do this. Because everyone that you come in contact with, by the way, you should add them to your newsletter. Obviously, ask for permission. Say, hey, we have this electronic newsletter. I'd love to add you to it. So that way you get to know a little bit more about our firm, especially family law and things like that, where people are making a decision. Not everyone wants to go after like child custody against their significant other or get a divorce right away. Sometimes you get a consultation with family law and they need to think about it. At that point, you add them to your newsletter with permission, of course. That way you're top of mind using content marketing. And that's another way of sharing it, okay? Another way of sharing your content is things like this, podcasts. You can share your content using podcasts. And this is a great way of doing it. Another good way of doing it is by creating your blog. A little old-fashioned. A lot of people are going away from blogs, but blogs are still very effective in terms of content consumption. And of course, video. Video is on the rise. Everything is video these days. So you definitely want to consider having some sort of a video blog or vlog, if you will, where it does have the answers to a lot of the questions that people are asking in answerthepublic.com, and then distribute it. That's part of your distribution channel to your audience. Okay. Those are the ones that I suggest. There are other things like infographics that are very powerful as well, that you can promote and put it on display, if you will, on display networks of, like, say, of the Google networks and the Facebooks of the world, etc. But so that's your distribution. That's your distribution of what you want to do. But again, the strategy all entails really and truly with these 10 methods of getting the content. And I know I mentioned it a little bit, but I'm going to go a little bit deeper now. Number one is you want to find relevant topics. Relevant topics is key. Okay? You want to find relevant topics. Where do you find it? Again, answerthepublic.com. I keep repeating that because it's important. I want you to really, really understand the power of that tool. Number two, know your potential clients. If you know who your potential clients are, meaning what they're into, what they're not into, you can form a bond with them via content marketing without them even picking up the phone and calling you. And that's very powerful. So know your potential clients. There are websites, not websites. There are tools out there that can actually give you statistics on who's visiting your website. Tells you, what their demographic, et cetera, et cetera. Now, some people have this information blocked, so you're not going to get all of them, but you're going to get a good gist of who's looking at your website on a constant basis. Okay, there's several tools out there that do it. There's so many of them to list here, but I would love to, if we ever want to have a consultation with me, I can even list them out for you. And it really depends on the type of data that you're looking for. So, each tool gives you different types of information. And this is not an episode about that. Else I would lift them out here. But if you're curious about it, I'll probably create an episode solely on that, the tools to use. But for now, just know there are software out there that you can actually see who's visiting your site, and you get a good demographic of what that is, and you get a good makeup of who you're attracting. Okay. Number 3, you want to conduct keyword research. So after you actually know who your potential clients are, and you know what the relevant topics should be, check out some keyword research around those topics. Make sure that you create some, and you want to use tools like Google Keyword Planner, SEMrush. I personally like Ahrefs. I don't know if you would need any of these tools. Like SEMrush has a free version which you can use. Google Keyword Planner is free. Moz Keyword Explorer those are free. I use Ahrefs because I'm an SEO. I use, that's my business. So I need to get a little detailed on that. But you want to find what's called long tail keywords that is going to help you educate your audience after you've done the relevant topic research and you know who your potential clients are. Okay. That's number 3. Number 4, look up your competitors. What are your competitors doing and what are they writing about? You don't want to write the same things that they're writing about. Once you do your research and you know what you want to write about, make sure that if your competitors are writing about the same thing and it's key to the success of your campaign, write about the same thing but in a better versions of it. But I would rather you do not write about the same thing. Write about a similar thing that gets them to the same answer, but in a different way. There's a trick to it that we do it all the time for our clients. You would love it. And if you want to know more about it, just give us a call, 888-416-7752. I'd love to teach you about it. So that's number 4. Look up your competitors. Number 5, keep your content SEO friendly. Funny story here. I don't want to make this episode too long, but this is a funny story. I have a writer who writes with me, and she's a wonderful writer, excellent writer, and she hates SEO friendly content. She just likes to write because she writes eloquently. She's a great writer. So the funny thing about it is that although it's a great thing and it's high value content, if no one's going to find it, it could have been Hemingway who wrote it. If no one read it, no one found it, no one read it. So you're doing yourself a disservice. So we always had this, she and I always have this argument about, writing styles. I'm of the camp of content SEO friendly stuff. That's my thing, because I know people are going to find it if I do it that way. And of course, this is not a SEO episode, but you got to make sure that your title tags are right. your heading tags, your body tags, and all that kind of stuff. That's the standard SEO thing, but make sure it's SEO friendly in general, your content. Okay. Number 6, you want to create engaging content. Here's a pro tip. I'm gonna give you a pro tip, and then I'll move on. You want to sprinkle in some storytelling magic. Okay, you want to share real life case studies, success stories. That's gonna hook them in. Okay, you want to show off your firm. And you want to show what kind of work that your firm has done for your clients that really, really put a smile in their face. Okay. And you don't want to forget to throw in some visuals in there, some images in there. Okay. If you can get away with actual images, fine. If not, infographics works as well, but you want to throw in there. But those are pro tips in terms of creating engaging content, because storytelling is important. People get roped into stories. It's just the way our mind works. Number 7, create blogging schedule. You want to schedule this out. Don't put every single thing in one dump. Do a schedule. So based on the plan that we talked about earlier, the whole cycle is a plan. Distribute, yada, yada, yada. Plan, create, and share. One of the plans is you want to have a blogging schedule. Now, it could be a blog, it could be a vlog, it could be, a podcast, whatever that schedule is, you want to create that. Okay. And just don't do it all at once. You want to also consider, this is number 8, by the way, you want to also consider guest blogging. Guest blogging is pretty cool because this is going to create you some backlinks. We do this all the time for our clients. We partner up with certain publications that are very, very, very highly recognized, for attorney-based marketing. So for us, this is a simple slam dunk. We just go out there and say, hey, I got some more content for you, and that's it. Now, if you're going to do this yourself, you got to go out for guest blogs, create that relationship with them, and then you start building that. Again, content marketing is not the fastest thing in the world, but when it's done right, guaranteed better leads than just pay-per-click marketing. Okay. And I know I've said that before. Number 9, brainstorm new content. But you want to do this with AI. Because AI is going to help you. Now, I'm going to give you another pro tip here. You want to embrace the power of artificial intelligence. Okay. I got to tell you this because I get into a lot of arguments with some attorneys. I don't want to say arguments. It sounds confrontational. I get to a lot of heavy discussions on artificial intelligence. But here's the fact of the matter. In 2024, I want you to embrace it. Embrace the power of it. Okay. Especially if you're going to be brainstorming fresh content. Okay. Because it's going to help you a lot. Even with Answer the Public, it's going to help you a lot because it's already ahead. It's going to tell you what the trends are. So embrace it. Okay. It's here. It's not going anywhere. This reminds me of when social media first was getting popular. People were like, oh yeah, that crap or whatever. And here we are many years later, and we're still using it. This is reminding me of this. So embrace it. Okay, that's number 9. Number 10, last but not least, analyze the success of your content strategy. Identify what the key performance indicators are. What are your KPIs? If you have something like an active campaign or any other email distribution software, see how your open rates are. If you're using social media, like I said, 38%, that's a lot of people who are actually in social media getting being clients of others because of social media. So you want to see which social media platforms your clients are hanging out at, okay? Because 38% is nothing to sneeze at, okay? So these are all strategies that you need to start doing, especially with this coming year upon us, okay? So start thinking about this now. Well, actually, I really would have hoped that you've thought about it already in October. But hey, it's never too late. Start thinking about this, and more importantly, start implementing it in 2024, because you will start seeing, like by this time next year, if you start this in January, I can guarantee you that by this time next year, you will have a huge impact in your business. And, moving forward, you'll start seeing the difference between your pay-per-click traffic versus your content marketing traffic. Okay, guys, that's all I have for you today. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. And again, happy holidays to you. And I will see you guys next week for another great episode of Marketing Solutions for Local Law Firms. Take care until next week. Peace out!
Thanks for listening to another episode of Marketing Solutions for Local Law Firms, the podcast that provides you with all the latest digital marketing tools, tips, and strategies you will need to implement in order to stay ahead of your competition. If you would like to know more about the topic we discussed in the show today, reach out to Frank and his team at 888-416-7752 and schedule a discovery call with one of the marketing consultants. If you'd like to be a guest on our show, send an email to podcast@lbmsllc.com and we will put you on the schedule. With that being said, until next week, make it a successful digital marketing day. Peace out.